You've seen them, right? The ads for serums, shampoos, magic supplements. If you're dealing with hair loss, it feels like a total jungle out there. It's just overwhelming. So today, we're going to cut through all of that noise. We're going to look at the actual science to figure out what really works. So, here it is, the big question. The one that sends pretty much everyone down a late-night internet rabbit hole. Is there one magic bullet, just one thing that fixes it all? Well, stick with me, because by the end of this, you are going to have a clear, science-backed answer to that.
All right, here's the plan. We're going to start by breaking down the problem, then dive into the proven meds, check out some really exciting new therapies, cover other key solutions, and then, and this is the important part, we'll talk about how you can build a plan that actually works for you.
Okay, let's get into it. And look, before we even talk about a single pill or procedure, we have to start here, because you absolutely have to know what you're treating. Not all hair loss is the same, not even close. And, using the wrong tool for the job is just a waste of time, money, and honestly, a lot of hope. And this right here is the biggest, most fundamental split you need to understand. On one side, we've got androgenetic alopecia. You probably know it as common pattern baldness. That's all about hormones and genetics. But then, on the other side, you have alopecia areata. This is totally different. This is when your own immune system gets confused and starts attacking your hair follicles. So you see, two completely different causes, and that means they need two completely different battle plans.
So let's talk about the heavy hitters, the treatments that are backed by some seriously rigorous evidence. These are the ones that have gone through the ringer, extensive clinical trials, the whole shebang, and have earned that FDA approval.
When it comes to that genetic hormonal hair loss, that AGA we just talked about, the absolute gold standard strategy isn't about just one drug. No, it's about a two-pronged attack. You've got to fight this battle on two fronts at the same time.
Okay, so what are those two fronts? Finasteride and minoxidil. The real magic is how they work together. Think of it like a siege. Finasteride is your defense. It blocks the hormone DHT, which is the signal that's shrinking the follicles. It basically tells the attack to stop. Then you have minoxidil. That's your offense. It's a growth stimulator. It opens up the blood vessels, rushing all these good nutrients and oxygen to your follicles to help them recover and get stronger.
And you don't have to take my word for it. The data is crystal clear. This chart breaks it down. Look at this. After a year, minoxidil by itself, about 59% of guys saw improvement. Not bad. Finasteride alone, better, a little over 80%. But when you combine them, whoa, a staggering 94.1% of people saw improvement. That's not just adding them together, that's synergy. They're way more powerful as a team.
But, and this is a really important but, we have to have a serious conversation about the risks with finasteride. It can cause sexual side effects, like decreased libido or erectile dysfunction. Now, for most people, if they stop the drug, those side effects go away. But there's something called post-finasteride syndrome, or PFS, and this is where those side effects can become persistent or even permanent, long after you've stopped taking it. This is absolutely a critical risk you need to discuss in detail with your doctor. Okay, let's totally switch gears now. Remember that other type of hair loss we talked about, the autoimmune kind, alopecia areata? Well, for this one, there has been a genuine, what I would call life-changing, breakthrough for patients.
And that breakthrough is a class of drugs called JAK inhibitors. This is a huge deal because for the very first time, we have an FDA-approved systemic treatment specifically for severe alopecia areata. These are oral pills you take, and they work throughout your whole body to calm down that very specific part of your immune system that's gone rogue and is attacking your hair.
So, how well does it actually work? Well, let's look at the numbers. In the clinical trials for one of these drugs, Olumiant, about half of the patients with severe alopecia areata saw significant hair regrowth after just 1 year. And when we say severe, we mean people who had lost almost all of their hair. So for them, a result like this is, well, it's absolutely life-changing. But, and here's that theme popping up again, it's all about the right tool for the right job. These JAK inhibitors are a miracle for autoimmune hair loss. But what about for hormonal pattern baldness? Well, the National Institutes of Health notes they're just not as effective. This really hammers home the point, right? A correct diagnosis is everything. Okay, so we've talked about pills. What's next? Well, let's look at what might be the future of treatment. There's a whole new frontier opening up called regenerative medicine. And the idea here is pretty cool. It's all about using your body's own powerful healing signals to wake up and rejuvenate hair follicles. One of the most cutting-edge ideas in this space is something called exosome therapy. You can think of exosomes as these tiny little biological text messages. They're like little cargo packets that stem cells send out, and they are just jam-packed with instructions for growth and repair. So the therapy basically collects these powerful messages and delivers them right to the scalp to tell those sleepy follicles to wake up.
A more common regenerative approach you might have heard of is PRP, or platelet-rich plasma. The concept here is actually pretty simple. They draw some of your own blood, spin it in a centrifuge to concentrate all the platelets, which are packed with natural growth factors. And then they inject that liquid gold right back into your scalp. It's like a super concentrated nutrient boost for your hair follicles.
Now, all of this sounds amazing, right? But we got to do a quick reality check here. This field is still pretty new and it's evolving. There aren't really standardized protocols yet, we definitely need more big clinical trials, and the results can really vary from person to person. And maybe most importantly, these treatments are great at reviving weak, thinning follicles, but they can't, as of now, grow a brand new follicle on a totally bald patch of skin. That's a key distinction.
So what else is in the toolkit? Well, let's get into our final category of solutions. These are treatments that can either boost the results of other therapies or, in one case, offer a truly permanent fix.
And we've got 3 really different strategies here. First up is microneedling. This uses tiny needles to create these little micro-injuries in the scalp. This does 2 things. It triggers your body's healing response, and it dramatically boosts how well your scalp absorbs topical treatments like minoxidil. Then there's low-level laser therapy, or LLT, which uses light energy to kind of wake up the cells in your follicles and get them more active. And finally, the big one, the hair transplant. This is the only truly permanent solution we have, where a surgeon literally moves healthy, DHT-resistant follicles from the back of your head to the areas where you need them.
Phew, okay. We have covered a lot of ground. We've talked pills, injections, lasers, even surgery. So now let's put it all together and figure out what the real answer is to that question we started with. So I'm going to ask it again. After everything we've just gone through, what is the real miracle cure for hair loss? And the answer is, there isn't one. Not a single one. The real miracle isn't a pill or a serum you can just buy online. The miracle is knowledge. It's getting a correct diagnosis from a doctor and then using that diagnosis to build a personalized, evidence-based treatment plan that uses the right tools for your specific situation. So let's just quickly recap the main takeaways. Number 1, diagnosis is everything. You have to know if it's hormonal or autoimmune. Number 2, for hormonal hair loss, that combination therapy is king, but you absolutely have to be aware of the risks. Number 3, for severe autoimmune hair loss, those JAK inhibitors are a true medical breakthrough. And finally, keep an eye on regenerative therapies. They are the future for sure, but they're still evolving.
And that leaves us with one last, kind of mind-blowing thought. Right now, the holy grail of hair loss research isn't just about reviving old follicles, it's about creating brand new ones right from scratch. It's a process called neogenesis. So if, or maybe when, scientists finally crack that code, what is this whole conversation even going to look like in a decade? And honestly, that's the question that makes this field so incredibly exciting to watch.